Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. And this video I'm telling you everything that was announced during Minecraft Live 2021. So if you like Minecraft videos like this one, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft videos like this one. But we will get started. So Minecraft Live 2021 just happened and we got some great awesome news, but also some less awesome news, but we'll get into all of that in this video. So first of all, something you might already know, the mob that won the mob vote is the allay. If you want to know more about the allay, check out the video I made on all the 3 mobs for the mob vote with the link in the top right hand side of your screen. It's the mob that will collect items for you of the type of the item you give to it. So really excited to see that mob being added. And so of course we also got the name of the new update. It is the wild update. So Minecraft 1.19 will be the wild update and it will release next year. But before we go into detail into the wild update, just some other stuff that was mentioned during the live stream as well, is that you'll be able to get Minecraft Java Edition and Minecraft Bedrock Edition with the Xbox PC Game Pass from November onwards. So that's pretty interesting as well. If you have the Xbox PC Game Pass, you will be able to get Minecraft and Minecraft Bedrock Edition as well. Then there was also a whole lot of stuff related to Minecraft Bedrock Edition and Minecraft Education Edition, content creation, stuff like that. If you want to know more about that, I will leave a link to the full live stream in the description down below so you can check that out for yourself. Then as for Minecraft Dungeons, there were new seasonal adventures announced where you can get new pets, emotes, flairs and skins, all of these kinds of things. And the first seasonal adventure would be called Cloudy Climb and released in December. And there's also a new tower announced that will be added to your single player camp, and the tower will have 30 floors you can battle through. But that's for other information. Now we'll get into the wild update. And to visualize this a little bit better, I decided to go onto Twitter and we'll also go into the Minecraft live stream to show you some of the clips as well. So as I said, the next update will be the wild update 1.19, and here we see the logo as well. Looks beautiful and is really exciting. But some less exciting news is that the Warden and the Deep Dark have been postponed and will only be releasing in Minecraft 1.19 next year. But don't be too disappointed, because the Deep Dark will be expanded a whole lot, yes. And this will be with the new structure of the ancient deep dark cities. So here's a little look already, where we see this massive portal at the end of the structure. So the structure, the ancient city, is built up of deepslate and Sculk blocks, along with candles. And we see a lot more blocks here as well. So we'll take a deeper look by looking at the Minecraft Live video we got of the deep dark cities, or ancient cities as they are also called. So here we see that large portal in the center of these ancient cities, which are a bastion-like structure generating in the overworld down below Y0. There's also chests here, so they will have unique loot in them. This is because they postponed the Deep Dark because they wanted to add unique loot to it, and it also didn't want to rush it. So we see lots of different Sculk blocks here, like Sculk Grove, Sculk blocks, Sculk catalysts, Sculk sensors and Sculk shriekers. But along with that, there's lots of different deep slate blocks as well, along with soul lanterns and lots of other blocks. So this seems like a very interesting structure to explore. And of course, definitely with the weird portal looking structure at the end. We see a beautiful shot of right over here. There also seems to be some sort of new block surrounding the portal, and it looks like it has some sort of arrows on it as well. Looks very strange. And we also see some redstone lamps here, so interesting to see what those will be about. And I think I can also make out some soul campfires or soul fires below the portal. And so the main reason for adding these ancient cities to the game is to add mystery to the game and more storytelling, is what they mentioned here. We also see this has generated in a dripstone cave, but I don't think that has much to do with it. But we do see some oak planks up there as well, so there might be some sort of mine shaft or stuff like that that will generate in this as well, or maybe it's just a different part of the structure, we don't quite know. And we also don't know what this large portal thing is about. We'll just have to wait and see until we get snapshots for the wild update or the full release, of course. Then next we got more information about the Sculk catalyst block. And it will actually be the block that generates the different Sculk blocks. And it does this when you kill a mob near the Sculk catalyst. You see here, if you kill a zombie near the Sculk catalyst, it will grow some Sculk next to it. And the amount of Sculk that will grow is actually dependent on the amount of XP the mob drops. So if a mob drops a whole lot of XP, a whole lot of Sculk will be generated around the Sculk block. Now you can also, of course, then mine these Sculk blocks. And if you do this without Silk Touch, you will actually get a XP from them, since of course they harvested the XP from the mobs that were killed around it. But you can also get the blocks themselves by using a silk touch hoe, because the hoe is the main tool you use to break all the different Sculk blocks. And so when you break the Sculk catalyst, you will also get more XP without silk touch, and with silk touch you will get the block. So they mentioned during the live stream that you can actually make an XP farm out of this, since mobs normally don't drop XP if the player doesn't kill them, but you can get the XP into the Sculk and then mine the Sculk to get the XP back. Then we have more information about the Sculk Shrieker, which was already leaked before, but now we know what it does. So when you make noise, it will get activated, put up some particle effects, and then get this strange darkness effect on your screen, which is actually a particle effect that gets applied to the player, which we'll see later on. So this also happens if you sneak. As you can see, the player sneaks, but the Sculk Shrieker still gets activated. And of course, as the name of the block is Sculk Shrieker, it will also shriek when it gets activated. But it also has a further use, and that is that if it gets activated too much, and if you make too much noise, then the Warden will spawn. Of course, we've seen lots about the Warden already, since it was announced in previous Minecraft Live, but here they have another video on it as well. So here we see the player making some noise, but there still isn't a Warden. But once you make just a little bit too much noise and too many Sculk Shriekers get activated, then we will see the Warden spawn right over here. And actually, it will come out of the ground. We see some particles out of the ground, and then the Warden coming out of it as well. So they want the Warden to feel like it's in the walls. There we also see the darkness effect, the status effect. So the Warden is hiding in the walls, and once you make too much noise, it will come out of the ground, out of the Sculk, and come after you. So the Warden seems to be pretty much the same as we've already seen before. And if you want to know all the different features of the Warden, I will leave a link to a video where I explain all about the Warden in the top right hand side of your screen, so you can watch it after this video as well. But there is a distinct difference here, and that is that the Warden has now developed some sort of sense of smell. And so even if you're not making any noise and you're close to the Warden, it will still notice you and come after you. And yes, it will still do a whole lot of damage. Then the main theme for the wild update they mentioned is nature and scary adventures. Now, I've already mentioned the scary adventures, of course, with the deep dark. But as for nature, they want to add a whole lot of immersion into the game. And they have a couple of ways of doing this. And the main thing they talked about is the swamps getting overhauled. So we see a concept art right over here. And we'll get into all of the changes they'll be adding to the swamp right now. So they also showed us this beautiful concept art showing off what this immersion in Minecraft should look like. And here's another one of those concept arts, but then for the swamp. So for the birch forest, we didn't really get any changes, but for the swamp, we got a whole lot of changes that will be added. And so the swamp update was actually already announced earlier on. So this was during a biome vote during a previous Minecon, where the swamp actually lost the biome vote to the mountains we got in Minecraft 1.17 and Minecraft 1.18, but now they will add all the features they mentioned for the swamp update in Minecraft 1.19, the wild update. And first of all, we have boats with chests. Yes, movable chests in Minecraft. Of course, we already had horses and stuff like that with chests, but these have an actual physical chest on the boat. It does seem like that you can't put another mob or entity in the boat if you already have a chest in them, so you'll just have you and the chest in the boat, and you can take it everywhere and put some items in there. Then the big thing is the mangrove trees. So they will have saplings you can place both underwater and on land, and they will turn into these beautiful mangrove trees. So the saplings are actually called propagules, and they will grow on the leaves of the mangrove, as you can see right here. So these are the propagules and also the saplings of the mangrove trees. So these mangrove trees will actually have these beautiful roots made up of multiple blocks. And these mangrove trees, of course, generate in the swamp biome, and you could actually row under these roots with your boat in the swamp, which will look so awesome. And of course, with a new tree, we also get a new wood type, mangrove wood. And so this wood looks something in between the jungle wood and the acacia wood, in my opinion. And of course, every single wood block will have this mangrove type as well. So there will be mangrove fences, fence gates, doors, trapdoors, and everything else you can craft out of other types of wood. So this is really interesting and really exciting. Then here we have some concept art for the mangrove trees, and they really wanted to get the roots to be multiple blocks tall so you can row under them in your boat. And here we can see see that visualized in another concept art, which just looks absolutely beautiful. Then they're also adding a second type of swamp, which is the mangrove swamp. It will just be completely filled with these mangrove trees, as opposed to normal swamp, which will have a couple of them. But these mangrove swamps just look amazing with lots of mangrove trees, and yes, not dirt. No, that's not dirt on the ground, that's actually mud. And we'll see mud in a second. So mud will generate in these mangrove swamps. But you can also get it in another way. So you do this by using a water bottle on a piece of dirt, and that's how you get mud. And then you can also use the mud on top of a dripstone block, and after a while the mud will actually turn into clay, and this means both mud and clay are renewable blocks in Minecraft now. Then you can also use the mud to create mud bricks. So these are new building blocks which have a slightly different texture to the stone bricks. The bricks of the mud bricks are actually a little bit smaller. And so you can create completely new buildings with the mud bricks. Then another new mob added to the game will be the frogs, which we can see jumping around over here. So they're slightly orange and they can actually jump very, very high, as you can see right there. Furthermore, they can jump on top of drip leaves and on lily pads. But of course, if they jump on the drip leaf, they will fall off after a while again as well. They can also jump backwards, which is quite odd. And so in general, they're just quite derpy and cute new mobs that will be added into Minecraft 1.19. But of course, if we have frogs, there are not really baby frogs, but there are these tadpoles instead. So there's very small water creatures that just swim around and eventually will grow up into frogs. Then we have another tiny mob that will be added into the game, and that's fireflies. We can see here flying around and glowing. They are just very, very beautiful mobs and really add to the immersion of the game. And of course, yes, the frogs can eat the fireflies with their very long tongues. And it looks actually super, super derpy. Another feature of these tadpoles is actually that you can pick them up in a bucket, which is super useful because you can bring them to different biomes and they will grow up into different types of frogs. So apart from the normal frogs, there are also the snowy frogs, which you can see over here. And these will get spawned if a tadpole grows up into a frog in a snowy biome. And the third and last variant of frog will appear if you bring a tadpole into a tropical biome, like a desert or a jungle. Then they will grow up into a tropical frog, which is white and blends in with the sand very, very nicely. And what they also mention here is that all the three different types of frogs will have a unique feature that will be useful to the player, but they don't know what this feature will be just yet. And so there we go. That's pretty much everything that was announced during Minecraft Live 2021. Some super awesome news about the wild update Minecraft 1.19, and also the allay will be added into that update, which will release in 2022. So there we go. What do you think about this new Minecraft update? Let me know about it in the comments down below. But anyway, there we go. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you did, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft videos like this one. I want to thank my tier 3 member, the Smikkelaar. Thank you so much for becoming a tier 3 member. If you also want to become a member, click the blue join button below the video to check out the different tiers. But there we go. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all in the next one. So until then, bye bye.